Good morning, guys. We're going to get started with the watch list. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Do I sound okay? Can you guys say something in the YouTube chat? Testing, testing. Sweet. Thank you, Jerry. All right, we're going to jump right in. The first stock on the morning gapper list today is MYOS. This thing is doing a lot of volume, looks really strong. I'm not sure what the news is on this. I don't really read news, so I don't really care, but I do see that it is getting pretty extended from not only its 15-minute chart here, but also the hourly chart. So I'm actually a little more short biased on this stock for now. You can see that I drew a level here at 250 and also 260. My guess is that if it kind of taps down here and bounces off this 250 to make a little lower high and breaks 250, it could flush to maybe test these bigger time frames. So like I said, I'm short biased. I don't think I'll trade this one because if it triggers in pre-market, I usually don't trade pre-market. I have kind of a poor win rate in pre-market and things are a little illiquid for my liking, but it may set up. Another thing I don't like about the short trigger, if it does break 250 right now, is that VWAP is right underneath. So even if it does trigger through 250 here as a short, it may just end up bouncing off 244-ish and then continuing higher, despite the fact that it's still extended from these bigger time frames. So I'll watch this into the open, but as of right now, I'm a little short biased. In order for me to be long biased on this, I would need to see it kind of dip at the open, bounce off maybe like 220-ish down here, and then come back up, reclaim VWAP and this 250 level, and then re-break 260 to continue higher. So that's kind of what I would need to see for it to be a long trade again. So I'm not going to touch it for now. I'm going to just keep an eye on it, but it's definitely top watch for me. ARPO, kind of a weird chart. I don't like this big upper wick here in pre-market. You could tell there's a ton of sellers above 220-ish level. So honestly, I probably won't even bother with this one. It doesn't really look like it's setting up clean. So I may or may not watch it. It's in my wheelhouse, and it's doing decent volume this morning. I just really don't like that upper wick. To me, that just screams that there's a lot of sell pressure in this, and any pop-up that it's going to potentially get might just get met with a bunch of sell pressure. So we'll watch it, but I don't really like it so much right now. IEA, pretty extended from the 15-minute chart, so it has some more room to go down, even extended a bit from the 5-minute chart, so definitely can see some more downside. But if it's going to set up long, I'd like to see it maybe get above this 530 level, which is like right where VWAP is right now, and see how it sets up above 530. I wouldn't buy it anywhere down here. It needs to kind of get back up above here, chop around a bit, and then maybe, I don't even know, the levels are tough to draw on this with these candles here, but 530 needs to reclaim first before I'm even interested, so I'll keep an eye on the 530 level. NETE looks like it looks actually like a pretty decent pattern. It might have actually just broke a key level here at 20. This is actually more expensive than I thought it was. 2150 here was probably a trade on this. Late to the party, obviously, and plus it probably would have been a little extended on this 5-minute chart for me to want to even take that. But I'll watch it. It's kind of too expensive for me, although lately I have been trading higher priced stocks, I noticed. So it just depends on what sets up. I don't know. If something's higher priced, I'll maybe trade it if the pattern looks good, but I'm going to size way down on it because they're just not my wheelhouse, and this one looks like one of those. But it is getting extended from some of these bigger time frames like the hourly chart. 15-minute chart's kind of way down here at 19 bucks. And yeah, I don't know. It's has some work to do. I think it may pull back though, so I'm not going to be buying it at all until I see it kind of set up. Let's see. VAL. I like that it's testing this higher time frame here soon. Has a little more room to go down before it does fully test it. But I need to see this thing get back above maybe 60 cents right here in order to want to buy it long. And then maybe a break of 65 right here. But still has some more resistance even up here at 70, so it might even look better if it kind of reclaims all the way up 65 and then re-breaks 70 for more upside. But it's worth a watch. It needs to reclaim 60 cents to start. Ideally 65 looks better, and then a break of 70 cents could probably see more upside on this, but has some work to do. Obviously it's under VWAP. I don't buy anything under VWAP, so I need to see it jump up and reclaim some of these levels after testing these bigger time frames. MARA. I can't believe this thing is still running. It's actually crazy. I've traded this so many times in the last 2 weeks. I wish I just would have swung it, but I don't swing trade at all, so I don't know how to do that properly. So I'm a day trader, and that's what I do. So if this sets up again to trade along at some point today, you best believe I will be taking it. However, because it's been running for so many days, it's getting a little extended on the daily chart here. It's at 420 right now. So when it opens up, our candlestick is going to be way up here, kind of super extended on the daily chart. So for it to see more upside, I'd be surprised, honestly. But hey, you never know. You got to be open bias at all times, right? So right now, let's see. Yeah, I don't even know, honestly. I'm more short biased than long biased on this one right now, just because the daily chart extension that we're going to be having. But it does look decent if it can, for a long, if it can kind of hold above 420 here, which it's pretty much reclaiming as we speak. And then maybe breaking 440. Kind of still wide risk for me. I don't like to really take trades that are 20 cents of risk on them, so I'll keep an eye on 430 level as well, which it just tapped right now, and see if it could kind of reclaim it and like chop around in here, confirm it as support, and then break 440. That might be an interesting long trade. It just kind of depends on when it sets up and how, because it's getting a little extended from this hourly chart. So when you take long trades like that with some of the time frames extended, it has a higher failure rate. So if it does set up, I may trade it smaller, or I may skip it entirely, especially because, like I mentioned, I'm more short biased because the daily chart extension we're going to have once the market opens. But we'll keep an eye. NETE we already went over, I believe. WILL, or I'm sorry, this is just WLL. Let's see here. I like that it's kind of bouncing off this hourly chart here. That's good sign for a long. It's kind of tested the bigger time frames. Now it just needs to kind of get back above VWAP here. It looks kind of like 140 is a level that needs to hold a support, and then maybe a break of 150 again for a long. You can see how strong that level was as resistance here earlier in pre-market. So I'll mark those levels, and we'll keep an eye. I'd like to see it kind of get back up, chop around, and break through 150, but it's sitting underneath the 15-minute chart now, the 5-minute, so now it has a little bit of resistance to break through. So 140 is the key level for me. That stock is also out of my wheelhouse, so it's not top of my priority list. DRIO, I actually had this on watch yesterday. It actually didn't really do much volume yesterday, and it's not really doing much in pre-market either. So we'll keep it on watch, but there's better stocks to trade today than this low volume one here. HZNP, low volume, going to skip it. LPSN, kind of same deal. Looks a little low volume. These candlesticks are like polka dots. See these things? That's just super low volume. I just wouldn't even bother. MVIS looks interesting. Bounced off the higher time frame charts, which is good. It's now over VWAP again, which is also good. It looks like it's getting weak as I'm talking, but it needs to hold this $3 level for sure, and maybe even I'm not sure. The candlesticks are kind of funky. Might even need to hold like 310 and then re-break 320. So it needs to kind of pop back up here, consolidate above 310, and then break through 120. But I'm sorry, 320. But these upper wicks are concerned for sure. So be mindful of that. But it looks okay for a long. Way out of my wheelhouse. 142 million share float in this thing according to Thinkorswim. So we'll see. Let's see here. DOYU kind of looks low volume. It's also a huge float. I'm going to skip this. This is 317 million share float, so I'll skip that one. And these stocks are bouncing around as we speak. NVAX is way too expensive for my liking. I'm not going to go over that one. Do we cover this one? OAS? I don't think we did. This one has a little more room to pull back on the bigger time frames. But if it does that and then rebounces, I'd like to see it kind of maybe get back over this 85-cent level. Where is it? This thing right here. I'd like to see it kind of get back over that. And then maybe just see how it behaves from there. I don't know. It's sub-dollar, so I trade these things like crap. So I'm not too interested in it, honestly. RIGL, this one looks okay as well. It's back over VWAP. Love that. Looks like this 295 level is a big level that it needs to break to see any more upside. And with that being said, I don't even know where support level would be on this. Maybe 285, but yeah, it's got a little work to do, especially on these like the 15-minute chart. It needs to kind of get up here, bounce back, allow this 15-minute chart EMA to kind of catch up to this risk-off level and then break 295. I think that would look pretty decent. We have 6 seconds to the bell, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm sorry I didn't make it all the way through this watch list, but I'll call things out in the day trading community chat room if you're in there. So trade safe today, guys, and thank you for tuning in.